Review Show. I'm your host, Eric Smith, and today I'm talking about The Black Goat Motorcycle Club by Jason Murphy. This is from Sinister Grin Press, and that's the cover. um, so, Black Goat Motorcycle Club. This is a story that takes place, for the most part, it all takes place at Tribes Memorial Hospital in Arizona. You've got this cast of characters. You have Dr. Henry Renard, who works at the hospital, obviously. Nurse Otero, crotchety woman, female nurse. Nurse Neil, young guy. Jan Boulay, they call her Bullet. She's an EMT. And they're all at Tribes Memorial Hospital when this guy who calls himself Agent Castle comes busting in with this crate of sorts, and he's being chased by the Black Goat Motorcycle Club. And it becomes a siege story, a siege horror story, as our heroes barricade themselves inside the hospital and try to stop the Black Goat Motorcycle Club from getting in. And what they don't realize is that maybe this crate that Agent Castle brought in might be worse than what they're trying to keep outside. So that's nutshell. There you go. So this is the first thing I've ever read by Jason Murphy, and I quite enjoyed it. First of all, I really like all the characters here, which, as anyone who watches my videos knows, character is very important to me. And he gives us a lot of character. These are three-dimensional characters. Dr. Henry Renard, we learn about his background, why he's at Tribes Memorial, what his failings are, what his potential strengths are. He's not really the greatest guy, at least at the start of the story. You know, hopefully there's going to be some growth. Nurse Otero is kind of an archetypal, like I said, not necessarily like really old, but an older, that angry kind of crotchety nurse that doesn't like to take any crap from anybody. Nurse Neil, the young guy, he and Dr. Renard get along pretty well, and Jan Boulay gets along. Everybody except Nurse Otero basically gets along. And then Agent Castle's kind of the wild card. We don't know a lot about him at the beginning, and but they're all interesting characters. And there's an old man who's just one of their patients that's just kind of in the hospital waiting to die, and we have some people that are brought in, but not a lot of people in the hospital. And so, as I said, Agent Castle, excuse me, not Agent Carter, that's a whole different story. Agent Castle shows up, and he's got this crate, chest, whatever, sealed thing that he brings with him, and he brings, hell is on his heels. The Black Goat Motorcycle Club is not a normal motorcycle gang, and mayhem ensues. And I have to say, one of the things I like about the way Jason Murphy writes and tells a story is he doesn't pull any punches. Again, there's something relatively early on when we're sort of first introduced to the Black Goats. There's something they do that's one of those things. If you know how sick and twisted I like my storytelling, it's one of those things that made me go, yes, this is my kind of writer. He was willing to do that, or have his characters do that. I think I'm going to like this. I'm not going to tell you what it is, obviously. Hopefully you'll read this and figure it out for yourself, or you can ask me in the comments. But there is that thing that happens, and I'm like, all right, I'm on board. I dig it. He went for it. And it is a violent book. It's bloody. It's wild. There are twists and turns and reveals and all sorts of interesting things. I don't want to give away what these things are. You need to read this for yourself to find out. I'm not going to tell you what's in that that crate that Agent Castle brought to the hospital. I'm not going to tell you what the secret of the Black Goat Motorcycle Club is. You're going to have to read and find out for yourselves. But it's wild. I really enjoyed it. We're going to jump, I guess, straight to the rating. And I gave it 4 out of 5 motorcycle jackets with black goat heads on them. You can kind of see, again, my lighting, not the greatest. There we go. 4 out of 5 motorcycle jackets with goat heads. There's actually, you can see the logo there, and there's a good shot of it there. And I considered making that the goat head on the jackets, but I wasn't very good at copying that, so I didn't. I just went with these sort of generic goat silhouettes. But 4 out of 5, definitely. I really enjoyed this book. It was a lot of fun. I say that a lot for horror novels, which probably tells you more than you need to know about what goes on in my head. But I want to read more of Jason Murphy's work. If it's on par with this, it's going to be worth my time. Again, wonderful characters. Even Nurse Otero, as much as I've sort of badmouthed her, is a great character to read. Not a great person necessarily, but we do get some insight into her. But a great character to read. She's fun to read about and to see what she does and what happens and everything. And as I said, there are some twists and turns. There's despite a relatively small cast of characters, there's plenty of mayhem and violence and blood and horrible things that happen. And again, well worth it. This is a thicker one. Well, it's just over 300 pages, and it's the usual good font size that Sinister Grin Press has. It's a pretty quick read once you get into it, and I think you'll get into it pretty quickly. It starts out with a little, it's one of those, oh, here's just sort of a random scene. It'll come into play later, and it certainly does. I almost completely forgot about the other patient that ends up in the hospital. And the other guy. There's like, wow, completely forgot one of the characters. This guy from the beginning in that first scene, this older guy ends up at the hospital and trapped inside. I loved his character. He was fantastic. I don't remember his name, so I'm just gonna look and see. They call him Whitey. Whatever his full name is, I'm not going to take the time to look through. But Whitey, I loved Whitey's character. He was an interesting guy. So, man, I can't believe, how could I forget Whitey? He was great. Oh, man. But anyway, so there you go. I mean, come on. Just to find out what the hell I'm rambling on about, you need to pick up Black Goat Motorcycle Club by Jason Murphy from Sinister Grin Press. 4 out of 5 motorcycle jackets with goat heads on them. So, of course, I will have links for this book in the description below. So you can get a copy for yourself and check it out. Well worth your time. So there's that. And then if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be nice here at the Low Budget Review Show. So if you want to know more, if you want to know what's in that crate, I'll tell you. But we're going to do it under a spoiler heading, so we don't spoil it for anyone else. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like what I do. And if you want to share it with people, I'd love to have more people subscribe to my channel. And spread the word about good books and such. And, I do other stuff too, but mainly it's books. So please like, share, and subscribe. And I think that covers everything. So this has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith. And until next time, read more books.